I'm known to be on this war against grifter KOLs and follower bots and stupid airdrop campaigns in the industry.
In the Olympus, it was like a reserve currency, and from there, that's where all the builders and Barachain, I guess, was born.
And I know this because a lot of my friends who work in Web2 have started using the word community instead of audience in their pitch decks to brands.
What do you measure? They'll be like, engagement. In my mind, engagement is the worst thing that a community can measure.
Yesterday we launched a meme coin to incentivize all the founder members. It's on AI agent narrative because it's coming up on base. Okay, I'll shill it. It's $IMA.
Most of these communities seem dead, and frankly, like I could say, apes have been dead for last 1 year.
I know, like, a lot of people like identify as baddies, but there are equally some people who would say, I don't want to identify as baddies. Do you feel like who not to include in a community is equally important?
I probably have a little bit of a different take. Sometimes getting forged in the depths of being down brings the best communities. So maybe the apes will come back.
I want to attest
so.
to that, to be honest, because I think... Sorry.
Looks like we are all learning from Emily's content. I want to hear from you about your favorite communities in Web3. Name 1 or 2 favorite communities in Web3 outside of your own. You can't name everybody. I feel like I've been put on the spot.
Your NFT is
Can I plead the
30x.
fifth? Yeah.
30x NFT.
So Shabbir is offering me another Zohouse NFT if I say Zohouse right now.
You could just say baddies.
Oh. A quick show of hands. How many of you guys have been part of like Barabadis or the Zohouse community or Builders Tribe or Wall of Women? What about the ones who have not raised hands? Never heard of these communities? Never been a part? Come on, guys. Okay, so I'll very quickly give an intro, and I would want all my panelists also to very quickly brief about their background and how they got involved in community building. So I'm Mia. I run a marketing agency called Unhashed. A lot of you might know me from Twitter. I love yapping about everything marketing, and I'm known to be on this war against grifter KOLs and follower bots and stupid airdrop campaigns in the industry, and I'm all about organic marketing and community building and everything around it. I'd love my panelists to also very quickly reintroduce themselves, and then we can take it from there. Pareen?
Thank you for having me here. So I've been a community builder most of my life before I knew what this is. College Fest organization. I started a couple of hostels in Goa. Never thought about what I was really doing, but then realized, okay, see, everyone's looking for their tribe, and how do we build this? Last few years, I've been building an incubator, which is essentially a community of supporters for founders, and now I'm trying to figure out how this algorithm works, which is how do people connect with each other, which is based on values. There's a lot of research in psychology, but generally techies don't like reading psychology, so I'm trying to do that for them, and maybe the software product is used by all the communities out here someday. That's the aim. So yeah, thank you.
Great. Keisha?
My name's Keisha. I started, I guess, in the trenches in 2021 and found a community, and I was one of the only people left from the people that I started my crypto journey with, and it was because I found a community in the Olympus. It was like a reserve currency, and from there, that's where all the builders and Barachain, I guess, was born. And so from there, that's where I kind of found my voice and found a community, and then from there, I've just been journeying through crypto and now creating the baddies.
Exciting. Kashvi?
I absolutely identify as a baddie, and I love what Keisha, Pareen, Zoe are doing. I've been in crypto since early 2021. I started out as a moderator on Discord and have slowly made my way up to being the community lead at World of Women. I'm deeply passionate about curating events and curating spaces where women can thrive, have a seat at the table, and if not a seat, then make their own tables as well. So thank you for having me.
Love it. Shabbir?
So DV was supposed to be here, who's the founder of Zostel as well as ZooWorld. Zostel has 130 plus properties across India, Nepal, Bhutan. And ZooWorld is building premium houses for all the founders, web founders and Web3 founders in tech. We have properties in San Francisco, Dubai, Whitefield, Koramangala. We're expanding to more cities right now. Me personally, I'm the investment lead at ZooWorld. So I raise funds so we could acquire more properties, expand to more cities. The idea is to build zoo houses in top 50 cities. So everywhere a founder goes, he finds the familiar faces, space, personal accommodation, event space, and everything recreational around that space as well. We have built a community of 420 plus founder members, including both of these as well. And all the quality ones from founders of Polygon to founders of Alliance DAO. And these are this is a very quality community because they help each other on their own. They help each other with fundraising, with genuine introductions, helping each other with marketing and providing values of all kinds. So the idea is to build this founders community, the top tier people in crypto, the natives, and they should be helping each other on board into more people into crypto, and having IRL spaces in which they could go, they could market their product, they could get real-time validations. So I think that's one of the best community we're building across the region, and inshallah we'll expand to more cities.
Well, thanks for being here. There's so many different directions in which I could have taken the conversation on community building. Like, what is community building to you? Like, how do you define it? Like, what are the best practices and so on and forth? But I did not want to make this conversation boring. It's already end of day. So let's flip the script and ask about what do you think most people get wrong about community building? Shabbir?
Community should not be treated as a hype, as something the community builders have to provide regularly. It should be the community members providing value to each other. That's what I feel. That's self-sustaining community. DV launched a product, Zoo Houses. Now we're expanding more products. But now the people, that's the USP. That these founder members are helping each other. That's the idea. Like, we build community, and they should not be waiting for some new products from you. Like, it should be self-sustaining. They like the name, all the founder members. We call them co-founders for a reason, because they should feel like the part of the community. They should feel inclusive. So the wrong thing that they get is a lot of good brands does not have community. They build the community. It's short-term community. It's like musical chair. Everyone is changing rounds. So to build a sustaining community, I think you need inclusivity, more accommodating people.
So the community should not be led by people who started the community, but more from the community members itself over a period of time. I know that the community that you, Zohouse and Pareen has built is very different from the ones maybe that Kashvi and Keisha are a part of. Kashvi, what do you think most people get wrong about building a community?
Low-key, I feel like community has become such a buzzword in the last 18 months. And I know this because a lot of my friends who work in Web2 have started using the word community instead of audience in their pitch decks to brands. This is an absolute top signal. Like, when your creator economy friends are synonymizing the word community with audience and followers, that's when you know that, okay, it started off as one thing and now it has evolved into another thing entirely. So I think community is a lot less follower-based and audience-based. It's, as he said, about relationships. It's about many-to-one relationships. It's about the exchange of value that your members create for each other. And it's as simple as that. So my hot take on that is just that an audience is different from a community. Communities are built on shared values and lived experiences. For instance, Founder House, Pareen has curated a space where people are sharing an experience. Day in, day out, they're spending time together, they're doing sessions. The Baddies Village, it was an amazing shared experience. I was there for 3 days. I made some really good friends. Some of them are sitting here in the audience. So that's how true community is built, and it's not the amount of followers you have on Twitter or Instagram, although yes, that is important.
Self-sustaining community, I think all of us here would love to get to that point. And it feels like often very like easy to say, like, but when nobody is interested in what you have to build, like, how do you get people interested? I think that's the bigger question. Keisha, how do you build that small cult following that can invite more people and get the community going?
I think kind of to the first question, which I think answers the second question, is many people treat community as a means to an end instead of it being as, especially as we get into a much more like digitally connected world, that community and connection is like the crux of humanity. Like you see it in the discords, you see it with people bonding over shared terms, or in communities that someone may think is silly. There's obviously a reason why these people have come together, and they have their own slang term, like Barachain with Henlo.
Ooga booga.
And Ooga booga. Like that's like something that someone may find silly, but for some reason the people in this shared community really value it. So treating a community as a means to an end, like you're a company coming in here and you're like, I want to sell this product or I want to build something, but I know I need to build a community, and looking at it as that, I think is where a lot of people get it wrong. And it's not very sustainable when you look at your community as something to sell to instead of understanding why they're there or why they want to be a part of the community, or what is like the driving force. I think with the baddies, one thing that we've been struggling with in terms of community is how do your community members identify as someone in your community? We don't have an NFT project. We don't have anything like that yet. You know, maybe a baddie bracelet, but I think that goes into the sustainability, right? Like building that cult-like following or the sustainable community is a problem that occurs is, in some cases, how do people identify with NFT collections or tokens? If people aren't holders, they're still a part of that community, but it can be hard to identify or spread that word.
That's such a great point, you know, not building a community thinking that it's going to have like an end goal or I'm going to sell them something at the end. I don't think enough people have talked about it, so thank you for sharing. I know like a lot of people like identify as baddies, but there are equally some people who would say, I don't want to identify as baddies. Do you feel like who not to include in a community is equally important?
I probably have a little bit of a different take, depending on, some communities have more niche prospects or niche members. But I think what I say to people that maybe don't want to identify as a baddie is there's no one type of baddie. Baddies encompass all women, whether you're wherever you are in the world. So I think for us, it's all about inclusivity, and first and foremost is curating a community and a space for women, whether you're on-chain or off-chain. So there's not, everybody's a baddie, whether you identify as one or not, or on a different chain. So we're not, we don't think, I guess, in that types of terms. Obviously, there's risks, like if somebody that's repping a baddie merch or saying they're part of the baddies communities and they go on and, you know, maybe rug a token or something or create a scam project, like that obviously comes with its community, and exclusion and inclusion comes with its pros and cons. Sorry.
Pareen, your take on this?
I think every point that has been made, all three of them are super, super important, and I don't think anyone understands this, especially in this industry. Outside, definitely not. What I understand is, you know, if you want to take care of all these 3 points, there's one way to understand whether it's real community or not. Are your members here to take value or give value, right? Community is sacrifice in some way. We are moving towards a highly individualistic world, you know, but then everyone says, I want to live in a community, but then come grow some food for us. Oh, no, I don't want, let someone else, I'll pay for it. That's not a community at all. You've created a hotel, a resort where people are serving you. The most amazing communities that I've been a part of, that's where members are actually contributing their time, their money, everything, rather than expecting something out of a community. And when you see members expecting something out of a community, definitely should not be an airdrop, but even intangible value, which is status if you get into apes or this, access to parties, if you get into miladies, whatever. It's going to be pretty hard to survive when this whole, you know, liquidity money goes away. Most of these communities seem dead, and frankly, like I could say, Apes have been dead for last 1 year. I've just been seeing like, oh, nothing's happening here. Zero things are happening. The floor price may go up or down, but you know it's not a real community at all.
Sometimes getting forged in the depths of being down brings the best communities. So maybe the apes will come back.
I want to
I hope
attest to
so.
that, to be honest, because I think. Sorry, yeah. Honestly, World of Women's core community, we had a whole hype cycle in 2021, 2022. Everyone's talking about it, everyone's talking about the floor price. But we also saw a massive crash in the floor price during May 2022 to like up until recently in 2024. And what we've seen is that our most core community members, the ones who contribute towards the mission, they've truly come together and formed real friendships in the last 1.5 years. And I don't think they'd trade that for anything else. So I feel like from a community manager's perspective, I've seen the members become a lot more closer when they're sharing the pain and they're talking about it actively, not just amongst themselves, but also with the creators of the project. So it's important to create a rhythm where you're hosting town halls, hosting open spaces where people can come up, share their concerns, because that's the thing about communities. Not everything is great all the time, guys. You know, like, yes, we're contributing, but sometimes even contributors feel like they're being taken advantage of. So how do you manage expectations in a scenario like that is how the values of your community are defined eventually. So having been through that bear market cycle, I can say that Pareen is right. Like, the true community comes together when they're down bad and they have trauma to share.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And Pareen, like great threads that I can pull from. Quick question, do you guys feel the pressure to like constantly like make announcements or ship something new just to keep the community engaged? Anybody can take it.
Yes, kind of. It's kind of like a weird feeling where it feels like because it's so well recepted and things are going so well that you feel like you need to keep the finger on the pulse, and the second you step back is when the shoe will drop and things will change. And obviously in crypto, on-chain, everything moves so quickly. We're in an attention economy, and attention is very easy to last for a second and then disappear. So I think there is a lot of pressure people put out in doing announcements or innovate and putting things out, but I think sometimes that's like a blocker almost, because you feel this pressure when there's lots of communities that'll put out announcements that actually don't matter for so long, and that can be a hindrance. Whereas it's like, I guess, really understanding your community and what they want and finding ways to build on that without having to constantly be creating new announcements.
Pareen?
I think I've been the most inconsistent community builder in Web3 at least. We did at one point in time 20 meetups in 20 cities at Builders Tribe, fell through. We did online sessions, stopped that. Demo days, stopped that. Even with Founder House, super inconsistent, hardly any announcements. Sometimes community calls happen and we don't know what we are talking about here, and maybe 3 people show up. Sometimes community calls are at 3 a.m. It's just one tweet, or not even one tweet. We just gather around. What I've understood is, really speaking, if there is a cause, then there is a time to filter people out. And that only happens when there's nothing being offered from the core team. I haven't been through really bad bear market in terms of communities. I think we had enough money from VCs, so it didn't feel like a really bad market, and we didn't have anything liquid to check token or floor price for NFTs. So I think I've been lucky that way. But it's been awesome that sometimes we are just, core team is like, we don't feel like talking to each other, so let's not do this. And it happens. Some of the fights have been pretty clear. Some people who left the communities have been pretty clear in Telegram or Discord, wherever it is. I think that's the difference between somehow a KOL and a community, that if I go to my temple every day, sometimes the priest is not in a great mood. For me, when someone says communities, it's always religion. So look at temples, churches, masjids, everything. Sometimes the priest is like, I don't want to make your day, I'm in a bad day. And somehow this whole thinking of corporate, how a corporate operates, a marketing department operates, I've seen this in so many places, and I admire people who can do that. Frankly speaking, I just can't do that. At some level, I'm just very inconsistent. If I feel like we'll gather 1,000 people, no problem. I know somehow I have to call up some friends and it will happen, and people will come. Sometimes people are like, I'm getting bored here, there's no memes happening, so what's going on? Like, sorry, we're too boomer to do memes, but there is value if you stick around. So some people do stick around, and I think I would love to reach that stage where we are actually consistent, because there are things happening sometimes and we don't announce, right? A lot of times there are things happening, but we just don't end up announcing or announce at the last minute. So I would say it didn't matter too much. It's not like it's some matter of survival of the community or even quality of value that's delivered. But yeah, I think it's awesome if you can really do it. Just making announcements for the sake of announcements is wrong. And I think 99% of crypto projects end up doing it. All the seasoned community builders know that this is, when you see the tweet, you can see that this is fake announcement, or this is real, something's going to happen. So you develop that intuition over a period of time. I know this is bullshit, let's get out of it. And the audience knows that as well.
Thank you for sharing that. I think a lot of us wanted to hear that, or had to hear that, or needed to hear that. I feel a lot of the people, including me, feel a lot of pressure to like just the FOMO. Like, there are so many people out there doing so much, and I'm not doing enough. Is the general feeling? Yeah.
Can I say one more thing? I think because we brought up engagement, right? I've been talking to like Farcaster team or some community builders and say, what do you measure, right? Every chain, what do you measure? They'll be like, engagement. In my mind, engagement is the worst thing that a community can measure. I don't go to my temple maybe once a year. But if something happens there, if they need something, I'm going to be there. Why, I don't know. Maybe I have trauma bonding or something has happened there. But there is what we call affinity in psychology instead of engagement. So best of communities for me is, like my cousins group or my school friends. We don't talk to each other. We don't even meet each other. We don't have community calls, no rituals. Rituals are basically abusing each other on WhatsApp. But if one person really needs something, these 100 people are going to be there. In my mind, that's way more important. A lot of times, Builders Tribe, we used to have these events, and I would be like, fuck, there's no registrations. You call up 10 people, and suddenly they will get 100 people in a room. And I don't know how that happened, but that's what I feel is a community saying, okay, see, I need you today, you need me someday, let's do this. And I think engagement is very, very wrong metric to measure that. We need to get over Facebook's narrative that communities, engagement, DAUs, MAUs. I'm not a DAU in my temple, and I think most people are not.
Mashallah.
Very interesting.
I know, most of the good initiatives never get announced. Like, I remember Pareen started a very quality initiative. He brought all the quality folks, VC analyst, on-chain analyst on this call, regular call, collective analysis, and we would analyze pitch. And now I'm again talking about the first question, in which these users are each other getting validated. The founders are getting validated about the projects right away. Even after the calls, they would connect with us. What do you think about the product? This keeps going on. Even after the initiative was paused, people are still helping each other. Mashallah, Pareen bhai, you ditched ape community while there is an ape right behind of you.
Me too.
But yeah.
I wish it happens. Like, apes should come back.
But I think there should not be a pressure of announcement, because if you're constantly engaging with your community, like the founders chat for Zoe, we are excited to announce something new. We know, like, even if we come up with something, we'll get validated real time. So let's say every meta we come up with something. Last cycle we came up with an NFT. Now we're building RW protocols. Yesterday we launched a meme coin to incentivize all the founder members. It's on AI agent narrative because it's coming up on base. Okay, I'll chill it. It's $IMA. But yeah, but there's no pressure for us because we keep building, we get validated. It's a close-knit community. So people are very honest about it.
I think kind of what Emily said earlier in her talk about just do it is you get really caught up in making it perfect or crafting an announcement or you feel like you need to do it, but you really should just do it and don't focus on the pressure or focus about being perfect or focus about making sure the words are perfectly crafted. If you're showing up in the community, if you're building as a function, you'll be there, you'll be engaged, you'll be around. So just do it and don't worry too much about the pressure to be putting out.
I feel like we need to zoom out and understand that making announcements is different from making content. I feel like you can keep your community engaged by creating intentional content, having a good strategy for your Twitter, for your Instagram, for your Discord, for your Telegram, wherever it is that you're building your community. Build a platform strategy, find a way to show up on the feeds of your community members, find ways for your community members to show up on each other's feeds, and that's how you keep your community alive. You know, it doesn't have to be that, oh, there's an announcement, so we're all going to come together. People should want to come together just so that they get to hang out with each other. That's when your real community is built. It doesn't have to be that, oh yes, they've dropped a token, so I'm gonna come and I'm gonna make money off of this, and that's the tokenized, that's like the buzzword community that we're discussing right now. But the more intentional communities are they come on your timeline because people are having those interactions amongst themselves. And the metrics that I look at personally are number one, vibes. Number two is how many people show up if I'm hosting something. Let's say I'm doing a Twitter Spaces, I'm hosting an in-person meetup. Who's going to RSVP? Who's going to come through? Who's going to share this event with their friends? And then there's, of course, also, I saw this in Emily's tweet as well, by the way, how much social mind share are you capturing after the event? How are your members talking about the event and the value that they derived out of it? Because like I said before, it's about shared experiences, and then your KPI has to be the value that the member has derived out of this experience.
Looks like we are all learning from Emily's content. I feel like all of you are focusing a lot on purpose-driven communities. Like, what is the value? Like, what are we here for? Do you think there is a space for degen communities? Like, just quick ones that come and go for a very specific purpose? Like, I'm sure, like, a lot of people in the audience, like, that's what they think about communities. Okay, I have this company. I need to get this, I don't know, NFT launch going or something. I need to build a community. Do you think that that's the right way to go about it? Is there space for that?
If I would start a community saying make Pareen rich, how many of you would join that? Maybe a few, but
I think Pareen has a brand, so I would join.
no, I am going to get rich. I don't know about all of you, but if you say that all of us are going to get rich, yeah, makes sense. I think when degen communities actually come together, that's the best coordination that I've ever had. Zoa House has this degen lounge group, and a couple of other NFT communities have this degen lounge, where people are actually not just trading and giving calls and stuff, like not traditional influencer calls and stuff, but people are making coins, making narratives, discussing narratives, posting tweets, doing different things. I've seen best permissionless coordination happen there. Like, someone's throwing up an idea, someone else is refining it, someone else is building a story, someone else is just chat GPTing it, and fourth person launched a meme coin. This happens within 10 minutes. And this fourth person who launched meme coin, it didn't work out, but someone else comes in and be like, I launched a better one. It's now on virtuals, pump.fun is, oh, let's do this. And they put in $5,000 of their own. Suddenly everyone starts buying this. What is happening here? People are permissionlessly working, which means ideas, which means their own influence by tweeting or whatever following they have, and then coming in with their own money as well and saying, okay, I put my money where my mouth is. Of course, all of you guys can dump on me and I'm okay with this. So I would say it's worth studying degen communities from a mechanics perspective. Most other communities, including chain communities, have a lot more PPTs and a lot more Excel sheets, and that kills the vibes. What she said, right? It's just a vibe killer, and it's not permissionless. So you can't have the best contributors suddenly emerge bottoms up. Generally, they are appointed, saying, okay, community lead for X chain or X protocol. I would definitely say there is so much value. They might be ephemeral, and once the meme coin mania dies, maybe that community dies. Doesn't matter. Every purpose dies someday, and every religion also dies someday, or at least transforms significantly, right? So, I would definitely study degen communities a lot more if I had more time.
Definitely.
I think we should not confuse this meme coin communities with degen communities. This meme coin community, again, I said, is musical chair. The founders are not responding. They're ruggers. There's basically the community would shut down in 20 days. The degen community, like the one Zoe House has, the one Zeneca has, in which these people are comprehensively, they go all in. Degens are the best crowd. They go all in. They trust each other. They will do on-chain analysis. They will do all kinds of things. So you basically get value additions from 5 different perspectives. And then you invest, and you know the risk. But everyone is experiencing the bull run, the bear, and everything. So there is a very shared experience there of sharing the value. They're putting a lot of time. There are a few of the very active members in Degen Lounge, and we respect them. Like every day, there are some people who put on notification just to see their alphas. So they keep coming back. I think that's the value addition there.
Since I'm a degenerate myself, like I value degen communities. I think we all have like niche interests or little things you like, and maybe some people are more outwardly about it, or there's something that the community formed for some reason, whether people wanted to get rich, or maybe they thought the coin was funny, or maybe they like to ape in and they're addicted to gambling. I don't know, but maybe they're more outward with that, but being a part of a greater community and connecting with other people that get exposed to different information in other communities that trigger maybe different interests.
I think degens have hearts too, personally, because yeah, you have a heart. So many of our degen community members actually deeply care about the mission. It's just that there is a community mission that they're getting behind, but they also have a personal mission, which is to get rich. And we're in crypto, which is literally a tokenized industry, where whether we want to agree or not, people do come in for those reasons, and they are absolutely valid reasons, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. As Pareen said, I think degens need to be studied, the way they come together, the way they have that shared experience to put forward one single agenda and make sure that it infiltrates everyone's timelines is some insane behavior that I think most of our communities hope to replicate. I think it's wonderful in so many ways.
I like how this is not a traditional panel where I'm like just like putting out the question and then going one by one, and I like that everybody is picking up questions on their own and like also adding to each other's opinion. Pareen, I'm curious to hear from you because I know like you're one of the first people in India to have started Builders Tribe and like a community of one of its kind, the earliest I would say. Do you feel like a lot of people, quality people who you would have wanted to be a part of the community did not get a chance because for some reason like they did not have the time to be involved in the community? Do you feel like those people get left out, the builders who are silently, like quietly working and who are not yappers, who don't like engaging with people? Do you feel like those get left out? How do you like think around that?
Actually, my experience is exactly reverse. At Builders Tribe, we created a platform. Initially, there was a Google form, then there was a platform. Anyone could fill it. There were analysts, there were VCs, angel investors, who would look at the pitch deck, who would look at the whole form. It would take like 30 minutes to fill one form for a founder and then go through multiple hoops and then get access to whatever activities we are doing, right? It was pretty normalized, unbiased, tried to be very, academic, almost academic about it. If I were to actually do it again, so most of our founders, when we invested in them or we started working with them in some form, the biggest challenge was, why are you not on YouTube? Why are you not on Twitter Spaces? Why are you so introverted? Why don't you get out of your code editor right now? That became a challenge actually. Now if I were to do it again, I would be like everyone who's not willing to show themselves yapping on Twitter. Please don't come to my incubator. It's not for you, because crypto demands these founders to be outward facing. There are no brands in crypto. I think I said this way earlier, like long time ago. that I don't follow Polygon, I follow Sandeep, I don't follow Solana, I follow Raj Gokul or Anatoly if I can understand him. But then what's happening here is most of the founders, especially from India and the eastern region, except US and Western Europe, we are busy thinking if we build a great product, people will come and things will happen. I would say communities should be hella biased, right? Make it super, super biased in a way that it actually caters to the purpose, right? If I have to move a mountain, I want people with biceps. Who cares? I don't care, as long as we accomplish the mission very well. At Builders Tribe, we actually did not do it. Now, if I were to do it again, even in Founder House, what we are doing is making them record videos and putting out boundaries saying, if you go to an auto guy and offer him Thai baht, he's going to reject you, but take that rejection, right? And somehow these founders that we've got this time are actually willing to do this. And I think the chances of them succeeding is going to be much, much higher. So Builders Tribe community was very, very academically built in that sense, and everyone got a chance, which is actually, life is not fair. You should not get chance.
There's so many threads I can pull out of that, but we are on time. So very quickly, quick round. I want to hear from you about your favorite communities in Web3. Name one or two favorite communities in Web3 outside of your own. Shabbir?
Outside of our own, okay. I like Alliance DAO Founders Community. They have the eye for the right founders, right horses. As Pareen said, we look for the founders because we know they're versatile. They will pivot with metas. They will pivot with new narratives. Shifai, they've onboarded a lot of women and they're very consistent. Like they show up every time. They host quality events. One of them and Build Guild, they've onboarded a lot of developers. Builders Tribe, they've onboarded a lot of quality founders. They've helped them get out of their quiet zone because smart people are quiet. They know, like, community is over-promising. If you hire a CMO which does not understand the product, we want community builders like Chainlink God. Chainlink is one of the best community. They've been there for 2 cycles. They know what to talk. They know what to promise. We want more community building. Like Chainlink is a very wonderful community. And super team, of course, the quality people, very hard working.
You can't name everybody. Kashvi?
Well, I want to endorse Shifai for sure. We actually partnered with them as sponsors for Shifai Summit, and they do a phenomenal job at educating women about crypto. There's also Boys Club that I very much enjoy. But I think one of my core communities has been Pudgy Penguins and Abstract Chain. I hold a little Pudgy, and I really like the vibes with which the Pudgy community shows up. And besides that, I think one of my newer favorite communities is like the crypto marketers community. Claire Cart hosted GTMCon and Emily was a part of the organizers. I feel like very fast in the last couple months, like it's become a tight-knit group of marketers who keep sharing alpha with each other about what it's like to be a crypto marketer. So it's nice that we have that niche, and it's definitely become one of my favorite communities in this space.
Love it.
And of course, Better Baddies. I was waiting. No, I'm just kidding. Of course.
I think my favorite communities in crypto are ones that embody kind of like the more physical version of community, like what it takes a village. And so I think any community that embodies that, like contribution, supporting each other, connection, growth, and all of that. And so I'm going to do a little bit of a cop-out because the baddies are chain agnostic. So we aren't just on Barachain, but Barachain is my favorite community because the builder culture and also the community culture on there is so strong. And it's very, there's a strong presence of friendliness and supportiveness, and the community is sustainable on its own outside of the foundation.
Pareen?
Cabin DAO and Metacamp by Metacartel, I think these two communities have been a part of for a long time, and so silent. We meet each other at every event, but there's this bonding, and it's very small in terms of numbers. Both these communities are super small.
Well, thank you so much for this panel and all of you guys to be here.
What's your favorite, Habibi?
Oh. I feel like I've been put on the spot.
Your NFT is
Can I plead the
30x.
fifth? Yeah.
30x NFT. You have to go. You have to say the price appreciation.
So Shabbir is offering me another Zohas NFT if I say Zohas right now.
You could just say baddies.
Oh. Give it up, guys, for our panelists, Pareen, Keisha, Kashvi, and Shabbir, please.